What's going on, y'all? First video on the channel, so we'll see where this goes. But today I just want to quickly cover my everyday carry handgun setup. What we have here on the table is a Glock 43x MOS, and I'll cover why I chose to go with this one. This was actually my first firearm purchase. And as I grew up shooting, I started shooting when I was about 14. And I started practicing with handguns, and all the handguns I practiced with were Glocks, mostly Glock 19s. I shot a Glock 17. And then one day I tried one of these. It was a 43X, not the MOS version, the regular one. And it just felt really good in hand. Obviously, it's a smaller gun, so it's a little bit snappy. I think actually the grip length is the same as a Glock 19, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me. But I think it's the same length as a Glock 19. It's just slimmer. So it felt good in my hand. It fit, but it was skinny enough to where it felt more sleek and comfortable than a full-size, full-width Glock 19 or Glock 17 grip. And as far as concealability goes, I mean, you know, it's the perfect size. It doesn't feel small in the hand when you're shooting. I'm not gonna say it feels like a full size, but it's definitely comfortable enough where I feel confident and proficient with this firearm. So it just works out perfectly for me. And like I said, I was practicing on Glocks, and this is a Glock. Behaves like a Glock, so it was right up my alley, and it was exactly what I wanted. So let's get into the firearm first. First of all, before I get into the firearm, this is a deep concealment holster. The company is called Deep Concealment. It's a Kydex holster, a light bearing holster for the Glock 43X MOS. I don't remember the price. It was about, I'd say about $60 if I remember correctly, give or take. And then, you know, it does its job. It's not the best holster in the world, but it's comfortable. It's secure. Gun doesn't fall out. You know, so it does the job for what it is. I'm not gonna say this is a budget build, but it's definitely not the most expensive thing in the world. So before I show you anything, I will make sure firearm is clear. Empty mag. Chamber. Empty. So yeah. Glock 43X MOS. Don't mind my Talon grips. They're really worn. I shoot this a lot, practice with a lot. I think it's very important to practice with what you carry, so that explains why the Talon grip is all tore up. I need to get a new one. But this is the pro grip texture. It's not the rubberized, and it's not the most extreme one. This is the one that's in the middle, and I think it does a great job when your hands get sweaty. It allows you to maintain a firm grip on the weapon. It just doesn't look that good when it gets all beat up and worn down. Let's see, externally, there's not too much going on. We have a TLR 7 sub, which I feel like is the most common light for any concealed carry subcompact firearm. You see these a lot on Glocks, specifically the 43X. You see them on 365s, you see them on Hellcats. It's a great light, 500 lumens, does what it's supposed to do. It's not a duty light, I would say. I wouldn't recommend putting a TLR 7 sub or a 7A on any duty gun or a full sized, but it works for this application. On top, we have an optic. It is a Riton MPRD X3. This sight was about $120, I want to say. It does provide you a good co-witness with your stock iron sights, so that was cool. And I didn't have to get an extra plate to mount this. It mounted right onto the Glock MOS mounting system with some blue Loctite, and it hasn't come loose. This gun has over 1,000 rounds on it. It hasn't come loose. The sight picture is good enough for me. It's not a big window, but it's not tiny either. And I haven't had any problems with it. It's a shake awake. It hasn't given me any problems, and so I'm happy with it. Let's see. We have a True Precision threaded barrel. Not much to say about that. It seems to be just as accurate, if not more accurate, than the stock barrel. And We have an Arc Division Glock 43x compensator. There's really no reason that I don't need a compensator, but I really, really, really enjoy the look of a flat shooting gun. And it feels good in hand. This thing really does cut down on the recoil of a subcompact gun like this. So I love it. You know, I shoot 124 grain ammo, whether that be at the range or my self-defense ammo, and this really does eat it up like it's nothing. I mean, it's a very, very, very flat shooting 43x. For what it is, it shoots very flat, and I love that. And that's all that's done externally to this weapon. I mean, it's you know, what you would expect to see. I feel like nothing is out of the ordinary on this. I'm going to take it apart real quick and show you the internals weapon. So here it is, all broken down. The internals of this gun are 95% stock, and I'll show you why I say 95 in a second. Everything down here, the trigger connector, trigger bar, all this stuff, mag release, I'm sorry, slide catch, I'm sorry, and the mag release, as a matter of fact, all of them are stock Glock parts. We all know that Glock is known for their reliability, Glock perfection, as they say. And I trust that, so I'm not really big into changing all of the components down here that necessarily make the gun do what it does. A lot of people complain about the trigger on these Glocks, specifically the subcompact ones like the 43X. You gotta get a good one or the bad one. I'm not quite sure what mine was out of the factory. It wasn't terrible, but it was kind of heavy. But the more you shoot, the more it gets broken in. And this now, I think it comes out the box with what they say is a 5.5 pound trigger. I would say now it's about 4.5 to 4 pounds. Feels very, you know, feels good to shoot. I don't have any problems. So yeah, it's definitely broken in, and I really enjoy it. But yeah, everything on the lower half is stock. But if we move to the slide of the gun, everything is stock but this. And I don't know why every time I take the slide off, this spring wants to ride up. You know, it normally doesn't sit there. It sits right there. There's nothing wrong with it, so don't be alarmed. It does what it's supposed to do. But this is a recoil spring from DPM Systems. So this differs from the stock Glock spring in the fact that it is a three spring system. So there's supposedly 1, 2, and then there's another one inside of here. I forgot exactly what they call it, but it is supposed to help with felt recoil and muzzle rise. And I can say that I don't really notice that by itself because I do have a compensator as well, but I haven't noticed any problems with it. It's been just as reliable as the stock Glock spring. As a matter of fact, I've shot this more than I've shot the stock Glock spring, and I haven't had a single problem with it. So I'm very happy with it. Here's your true precision barrel with your compensator attached at the end. I live in the state of Virginia, so I am allowed to have a threaded barrel, which is what this is. So that's the compensator. This compensator was not expensive. It was only like $60, I think, and it does a wonderful job. I know that you can't get like a Radian for this thing or anything like that. They don't make them for this gun. But the one they do make that's similar is the Parker Mountain Machine. And that thing is like $300 something. And I just could never see myself spending that much money on a barrel and comp. So here we go. The budget option, and it does just fine. Works just like it's supposed to. I'm very happy with it. Like I said, everything else in here is stock though. And that's it as far as the weapon is concerned. Like I said, it's pretty basic. Besides the compensator, I think everything else you would expect to see. Maybe the compensator and the recoil spring, but everything else, standard Glock parts. And that would be the weapon. And as far as carry ammo and magazines go, I do have the Shield Arms 15 round magazine, the S15 Gen 3. Yep. This is a 15 round mag. And what's funny about it is they're the same size. The Glock mag and the Shield Arms mag are the same size, same width. And you telling me that they can add an extra 5 rounds into this that they couldn't put in this or chose not to? I don't know what Glock was thinking, but you can literally get a mag that's the same size, doesn't stick out the gun any farther, and it holds 5 more rounds. I don't know, 50% more ammo for the same size magazine. Interesting. What I carry is Hornady Critical Defense, 124 grain. All the reviews I've seen are wonderful. I buy it at the store, and all the guys at the store say great choice. So I'm very pleased with this performance. The gun cycles it just fine. Haven't had any problems when I've tested it. And I trust it. Has the polymer tip in there, supposedly to help it penetrate through clothing and things like that. So, yeah. This mag, I'm a little skeptical. I've heard people say they have problems with the Shield Arms. I haven't had any problems with it, but it'd be just my luck to be in a situation where I need to use my firearm and I have a problem with the magazine. So usually I do carry the stock Glock mags. I know that these are what came in the gun. I know they're reliable. I know they're trusted. But I just wish they held more ammo. You know, that 10 round thing is kind of baffling to me, that when you can fit 5 more rounds in a magazine at the same size. But yeah, that's it. That's my everyday carry setup. You know, just thought I should share that. I'd love to answer any questions or hear what anybody else carries and why. And I'm open to conversation about anything that has to do with firearms. So I just thought I'd share what I carry every day. Hope you guys enjoy it.